Okay, so these are the numericals that we want to discuss, and let me take you through this sheet again. So G, as we have understood, so the first thing is that formula of weight is mass into gravity. This acceleration due to gravity is a constant quantity. It is usually the quantity, the magnitude is taken as 9.8, but at times, just to round off, it is taken as 10 also. But it is always specified in the question. Mr. Ariman, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Satya, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So it would be discussed in your class. I think what it is discussed in your class is you have been given a quantity of 9.8 meter per second square. I think your teacher hasn't introduced 10. Mr. Ariman, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So you forget about 10. You just remember 9.8 meter per second square. Yeah. And what we had discussed before is that this is written as 9.8 meter second raised to power minus 2 also. Mr. Satya, any doubt about this?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, the next thing that we need to understand is, because we have defined weight as mass into acceleration due to gravity, the unit of weight is Newton. It is kg. And because this is acceleration, this is meter per second square. So our understanding is that Newton is equal to kg meter per second square. Any doubt about this?
No, sir.
Mr. Satya?
No, sir.
Mr. Ariman? Okay. Now, there is another formula that we had done, that density is equal to mass per unit volume. Any doubt about this?
No, sir.
Therefore, mass is equal to density into volume. Any doubt about this?
No doubt.
Now, weight is equal to mass into acceleration due to gravity. And from this formula, what I have is that weight is also equal to density into volume into acceleration due to gravity. Mr. Satya, doubt?
No, sir.
And that is what I have written here. So this is the first formula that you will need to understand. This is the second formula. You already have done worksheets regarding this. And from this formula, I can find the value of mass. I can put it here, and I can have a third formula, which is weight is equal to density into volume into acceleration due to gravity. Mr. Ariman,
I need no doubt.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
And just to make your life miserable, there your teacher has taken few examples where he has taken a cuboid. He has taken a cuboid. Now, if I give you the length, breadth, and height of a cuboid, will you be able to find the volume, Mr. Ariman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Satya?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Satya, what we had discussed last time was that if we have any confusion regarding volume, we should go and check this playlist. Mr. Satya, have you done the questions again? Mr. Satya,
What, sir?
have you done these volume questions?
Yes, sir. Like now,
Yeah, you need to do them again. Would you be able to do it?
yes, sir.
So here, you'll get the practice of calculating the volume of a cube also and the volume of a cuboid also. Mr. Ariman, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Now, I will explain to you how to do these simple questions, and then we'll understand how to do these complicated questions. First, let us understand how to handle these simple questions. Yeah. Okay. So I'm given mass. This is my G. So I have been given this quantity. So what will be the weight, Mr. Satya? What formula do we apply? Mr. Ariman.
kg into so mass into g, so we'll get weight.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mr. Ariman, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mr. Satya, how should I do third question?
So we have to do mass into G. So it would be 30 into 9.8.
Mr. Ariman, any doubt?
Yes.
You multiply these, 8 3 the 24, 9 3 the 27, 294. What will be the unit, Mr. Satya?
So the unit would be Newton.
Mr. Ariman, any doubt?
So it'll be no doubts.
Yeah, you had a doubt.
No, I calculated wrong.
Mr. Satya, do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
See, it is always advisable. You may have something in mind that 90, I can write this as 10 into 9.8, and then I'll write 98 kg meter per second square. But your teacher won't prefer this. It is always better to write this as 98 Newton. Why? Because the unit of weight is Newton. Mr. Ariman, any doubt still?
No doubts.
Okay, Mr. Ariman, try to do this question. Question number 5. How should I do this?
Okay, so mass equals to weight upon g.
Shabash.
So we'll divide 4900 by 9.8. So we can do 98 upon 10 also. So we
Any doubt still?
no.
Mr. Satya.
So it will be 50.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
See, of course, you can have a doubt in a sense that, sir, I'm not clear about the decimal division, etc. But for decimals also, we have done the multiplication and division, Mr. Satya.
Yes, sir.
Or at
So I
least,
mean it will be 500.
or at least when we will do this, I think chapter 3 of your maths, then we'll be doing a lot of questions. But previously also we have done decimal questions. So now I just need to cancel this, and this will be divisible by 49. So this is 4900, 49 to the 2 5 the, and your final answer will be 500 kgs. Mr. Ariman, Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
As you can see, physics requires a lot of maths. If your maths is not good, physics becomes a pain. Mr. Satya.
Yes, sir.
Satya, how will you do this question?
So 980 divided by 9.8.
Sir, it is always advisable that you start with writing the formula, always. So always write the formula. Yes. What should I do next, Mr. Satya?
Yes, so 980 upon 9.8.
980 is equal to mass into 9.8. Therefore, mass is equal to, Mr. Satya, 980 upon 9.8. Mr. Satya, is it correct?
Yes, sir.
See, I understand what you are doing. You are saying that I will remember the formula of mass and I will write this as W upon G. But what I'm trying to tell you is just go with this formula. No need of remembering this formula, Mr. Ariman.
Okay, sir.
Because होगा क्या, as you start progressing 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, अगर आप ये वाला method follow करेंगे, then you will have 1000 formulas. But if you remember this formula only, then you will have 500 formulas. Mr. Ariman, do you agree?
Yes.
Mr. Satya, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
तो बेसिक अलजेब्रा यूज कीजिए और तभी आपको मैथ्स चाहिए फिजिक्स करने के लिए. This will become 98 into 10. 98, 10. Mr. Satya, what will be the units?
Sir, kg.
If you miss writing the units, most probably your teacher will take away at least half mark, or in worst cases, he might take 1 mark also. Mr. Ariman, any doubt?
No, sir.
Now I will try to, you need to do this submit by Friday. I will explain to you how to do this question. The first thing that you need to notice is, just to make your life easier, what I've done is I've given you a value of G, which is 10. Mr. Satya, Mr. Ariman, have you noted?
Yes, sir.
Because I want to make the calculations easier. Otherwise, it will become very tough. Mr. Ariman, have you understood?
Yes.
But in your school, G would be, Mr. Ariman?
9.8.
9.8 meter per second square. Any doubt about this?
No.
बेटा भी लाइट जला लो अंधेरे में बैठ. Yes, Mr. Ariman, what do you suggest? How do we do this question? Question number 1.
Okay, so mass equals to density into volume.
Shabash.
So now we already have mass, and so volume equals to mass upon density. So we'll get
okay, what do we require? We require volume. Okay.
Yeah, we require volume. So mass equals to density into volume. Therefore, volume equals to mass upon density. So 20 upon 10, which is 2. So we have our volume 2.
सर आप यूनिट्स नहीं बोलते हैं, आपके नंबर कटने वाले हैं, आप 2 बोल रहे हैं.
2 meter cube.
Okay. After this.
Okay, so now we need weight. So but then why did we find volume? We didn't need to find volume.
I'm sorry?
Why did we find volume in this case? We could have just done M into G, right?
Yeah, because volume is unknown. You can do, yes, you are absolutely right. For calculating weight, you can do 20 into 10 and you can find weight also. But here you wanted volume also to be calculated. Have you understood?
Okay.
भाई मिस्टर सत्या कुछ समझ आ रहा है या नींद आ रही है? पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं क्लास में.
समझ आ रहा था.
देखिए, this is the, in this worksheet, in these questions, you will be tested for density, volume also, and mass, weight also. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ariman, second question.
Okay, now we need to find density and mass.
Hmm.
So now the mass equals to density into volume, and or you can do weight upon G equals to mass.
Shabash.
So 100 upon 10 is equals to mass. So that's 10 kgs. So our mass is 10 kgs. Now density, so density into volume equals to mass. Therefore, mass upon volume equals to density. So mass is 10, density and volume is 20. So we'll get half as our density, kg per meter cube. So
आप यूनिट्स नहीं लिखेंगे, आपके नंबर जाएंगे. सत्य, आपको कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा?
समझ आ रहा था.
Mr. Satya, how should I do question number 3?
So first we have to find the mass. So mass is equal to density. Oh, sorry. So
Mr. Satya,
I didn't understand that.
Okay, Mr. Ariman, can you explain?
Yes, sir. So what the formula for weight is mass into G. So to get mass, we'll do weight upon G. So our weight is 1000. and our G is 10. So 1000 upon 10, that will be 100. So our mass is 100 kgs.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
So, Mr. Satya, what is the mass?
So the mass is 100 kgs.
And then, Mr. Satya, how will you find density?
So density is equal to mass upon volume. So 100 upon 100 only.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh.
Mr. Aryaman, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mr. Satya, do you want to try this question number 4?
Yes, I'll try.
Yeah. Can you tell me how to do this? Mr. Satya.
Yeah, sir. So weight is equal to mass into grams. So the weight would be 100 into 50. So it would be
Have you understood this part, Satya?
yeah.
So density, this is the symbol of density. This is the symbol of density. Density is equal to mass per unit volume. Mass is given. Have I made a mistake? No. Mass is given. Mass is 100. Density is given. Density is 50. So I calculated the volume first. So my volume would be 2 meter cube. Do we agree to this, Mr. Aryan?
Yes, sir.
So I am done with the volume. And yes, Mr. Satya, you were telling me how to calculate mass. Weight.
Yes, sir. So weight would be mass into gram, mass into G. So the mass is 100 and G is 10. So it would be 1000
1000 what?
kgs. Sorry,
भाई साहब न्यूटन पूरा लेक्चर हो गया न्यूटन
Yes, sir.
सत्या जी समझ नहीं आ रहा
समझ आ रहा है
देखिए मेरी रिक्वेस्ट मानिए whenever you are doing these sums always write the full formula W is equal to M into G. That is the first thing. Whenever you write the answers, please mention the units. Do not skip units. Once you have done these 9 questions, only then start these questions. Mr. Araman, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
And please understand that especially in this case, gravity, acceleration due to gravity is given to be 10. In your exam, it will have to be 9.8 meter per second square. Mr. Satya, any confusion about this?
No, sir.
Mr. Araman, any confusion?
No, sir.
So this is the worksheet that you'll have to complete and submit till Friday. If you have any doubt, actually you can ask me tomorrow also in tomorrow's class.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
Mr. Satya.
Okay, sir.
In tomorrow's class also you can ask me doubt. That is not an issue. But that will only happen if you can complete this by today. So if you want, we can have some 5-10 minutes for tomorrow. We can discuss this again. That is not an issue. So I hope you have understood the difference between mass and weight. Mr. Araman, Mr. Satya.
Yes,
Yes, sir. So can you send this also, like the difference between
Yeah, absolutely. I'll upload this in the next half an hour or so. And
Okay,
are we clear about the difference between vectors and scalars also?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Yes, sir.
See, the only complication that I was trying to tell you is there are a lot of, so I can give you a lot of examples about vectors, but the only problem is that those are the quantities you won't have discussed in your school till now. Usually those quantities would be discussed in 9th class. So in the coming days, you'll get fair amount of idea about what is vectors, and vectors are discussed in maths also. So there also you will understand about vectors. But at least if you can just remember these, these quantities, these are pretty simple quantities to understand. These three are pretty simple to understand: mass, weight, speed, velocity, distance, displacement. Mr. Satya, any doubt?
No, sir.
And again, the complication will start is another big complication which will start is if your algebra is weak, if your maths is weak, then you will really struggle in doing these kind of questions. Mr. Ariman, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Because ho kya raha hai, what will start happening is आपके decimals में आपका decimals, आपके fractions, आपके indices, you will start seeing all these things and including your basic algebra and your linear equations. You'll slowly start seeing all these things from maths in your physics. Mr. Satya, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
तो मैथ्स में अगर आपने नहीं किया तो फिजिक्स में तो बिल्कुल नहीं कर पाओगे. Ariman ji, do you agree? Ariman ji, do you agree? हाँ, तो इसलिए आपको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा आपके मैथ्स में, नहीं तो यहाँ फिजिक्स में प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. सत्या जी, समझ आ रहा है नहीं यार?
समझ आ रहा है.
Let's meet tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Just start कर रहे.